News Special Report. I'm Norah O'Donnell in Washington. We're coming on the air as President Trump holds a news conference about the coronavirus in the White House Rose Garden, and he is expected to declare a national emergency. Let's listen in now to the President of the United States as cases here have now topped 1,800 and many events canceled. Let's listen to the President.
Everybody being here today, I'd like to provide an update to the American people on several decisive new actions we're taking in our very vigilant effort to combat and ultimately defeat the coronavirus. We've been working very hard on this. We've made tremendous progress.
I checked. She's right. But then I checked to see how the World Health Organization came up with that number. And here's what I learned, and I want to share this with you. As far as the death rate goes, quote, the only number currently known is how many people have died out of those who have been reported, keyword, reported to the WHO, the World Health Organization. That, according to experts, makes the mortality rate naive and misleading. Not my words, their words. So they're only calculating people who they know had the disease.
The Queen cancelling events, local elections delayed a year. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization declare Europe the epicenter of the pandemic.
5,000 people have lost their lives, a tragic milestone. Europe has now become the epicenter of the pandemic, with more reported cases and deaths than the rest of the world combined, apart from China.
Doctors have named the disease Covid-19, or coronavirus disease 2019, indicating that a type of virus is causing the illness. When they tried to trace its origin, they found a likely source: this food market in Wuhan. Out of the first 41 patients, 27 had been here. It wasn't conclusive evidence, but Chinese officials quickly shut down the market. They had seen this happen before at a place just like this.
Health officials are trying to get a grip on an alarming outbreak of SARS.
The virus originated in mainland China.
Has spread across the country.
The disease had been festering for months in southern China.
In 2002, a coronavirus had emerged at a very similar market in southern China. It eventually reached 29 countries and killed nearly 800 people. Now, 18 years later, this coronavirus is in at least 71 countries and has already killed over 3,100 people. So what do these markets have to do with the coronavirus outbreak, and why is it happening in China?
The Trump administration says the president will be declaring a national emergency to allow more direct relief to Americans affected by the coronavirus. Jennifer Wishon brings us the latest from Washington.
March Madness has new meaning this year, and it won't include college basketball. On its cover, the New York Post declaring Thursday the day the sports world stopped. The NCAA scrubbing its widely followed college basketball tournament.
Drive to the basket.
This Big East Conference tournament game at Madison Square Garden stopped at halftime as the cancellation announcement came in. And that's not all. Leaders of Major League Baseball, the NBA, NHL, soccer, and golf have all stopped down, deciding the risk of coronavirus outweighs the billions of dollars they'll lose.
I also announced Wednesday night, following the advice of our medical professionals, who are doing a tremendous job, and we appreciate it very much, that we're suspending the entry of foreign nationals who have been to Europe in the last 14 days from entering the United States. Citizens, permanent residents, and our families, any of the families returning from Europe will be subject to extra screening as well as self-isolation for a period of 14 days.
Let me break this down for you a different way. So the World Health Organization is suggesting that of the 100 people they know had the coronavirus, 3 will die. So that means the mortality rate is 3%, right? Basic math. But here's the problem. What if there were actually 1,000 people who had the disease? Credible science sources, including the WHO itself, are admitting that the death rate numbers are very preliminary. In other words, they know of 100 who had the coronavirus, but that number could have been 1,000. Who knows? Because there could have been another 900 people who had the disease that didn't get reported. They obviously didn't die.
Viruses that make us sick actually originate in animals. Some of the viruses that cause the flu come from birds and pigs. HIV/AIDS comes from chimpanzees. The deadly Ebola virus likely originates in bats. And in the case of the 2019 coronavirus, there's some evidence it went from a bat to a pangolin before infecting a human. While viruses are very good at jumping between species, it's rare for a deadly one to make this journey all the way to humans. That's because it would need all these hosts to encounter each other at some point. That's where the Wuhan market comes in. It's a wet market. A kind of place where live animals are slaughtered and sold for consumption.
It was not a surprise at all, and I think that it was not a surprise to many scientists.
Peter Lee is a professor and expert on China's animal trade.
The cages stacked above one over another. Animals at the bottom are often soaked with all kinds of liquid, animal excrement, pus, blood, or whatever the liquid they're receiving from the animals above.
That's exactly how a virus can jump from one animal to another. If that animal then comes in contact with or is consumed by a human, the virus could potentially infect them.
The entertainment world is also turning out the lights. Disneyland closes Saturday, as are Disney World parks in Orlando and Paris on Sunday. And Broadway will shut down its 41 theaters for 1 month.
There had been increasing concerns about the number of people going to sit in a dark room in a tight space and watch theater.
Schools like this one in Texas are closing. Ohio, Maryland, and Michigan are the first states to close all K-12 schools. Seattle and San Francisco also shuttering classrooms in an effort to contain the spread of the virus.
We do have in this executive order the ability to commandeer existing private sector assets.
In California, the governor is granting his government power to take over hotels and medical facilities for the purpose of quarantining, isolating, or treating patients.